In the vast plains of Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya, where golden grass stretches endlessly beneath the burning sun, there lived an old man named Samuel Kibet. To the people of the reserve, Samuel was not just a ranger. He was a symbol of devotion, patience, and quiet strength. From his early youth until his fragile old age, he had spent more than 52 years protecting the wildlife of the Mara from poachers and illegal hunters. Samuel joined the reserve as a young man with little education, but a heart full of respect for nature. Over the decades, he learned every sound of the savannah, every animal track, and every hidden water source. Even after officially retiring, he refused to leave. Each morning before sunrise, he would drive his aging patrol jeep through the reserve, greeting the land as if it were an old friend. Younger rangers often sought his advice, listening carefully to his calm voice and wisdom earned through a lifetime of experience. He loved all animals equally: elephants, buffaloes, antelopes, lions, and birds, but he had a special bond with the leopards of the reserve. He believed they were misunderstood creatures, silent and cautious, deserving protection more than fear. Over the years, Samuel had rescued several injured leopards, nursing them back to health and releasing them into safe territories. Recently, the weather in the Masai Mara had grown increasingly harsh. A severe heat wave had swept across the region, with temperatures rising above 46 degrees Celsius. Animals struggled to find water, and many sought shelter under sparse trees. Despite his declining health and frequent chest discomfort, Samuel insisted on continuing his patrols. One early morning, as the sun rose fiercely over the plains, Samuel received a radio report that an old female leopard, one he had helped save nearly 18 years ago, had been injured by a wire trap near the Rocky Hills. Without hesitation, he prepared to check on her condition. His colleagues urged him to wait for backup, but Samuel smiled gently and said, "She won't wait for me." The jeep moved slowly over the uneven terrain, dust swirling behind it. Hot air rushed into the cabin, making it difficult to breathe. Sweat soaked his shirt, but his eyes remained focused. When he arrived near the hills, he parked at a distance and stepped out carefully. The leopard lay beneath a large rock, breathing weakly, her once sharp eyes now dull with pain. A deep wound marked her leg. Samuel approached slowly, speaking softly, as he had done many times before. His eyes were filled with concern and compassion. He knelt down, trying to assess her condition. Suddenly, a sharp pain pierced his chest. His vision blurred, and the ground beneath him seemed to spin. He tried to stand, but failed. His walking stick fell from his hand as he collapsed onto the dry grass. Nearby, two rangers, Daniel and Joseph, were monitoring a herd of wildebeest when they heard a faint radio transmission followed by silence. Alarmed, they rushed toward Samuel's last known location. When they arrived, they found him lying motionless, his face pale and his breathing shallow. Daniel checked his pulse and felt irregular beats. Joseph desperately searched Samuel's pockets for his heart medication, but found nothing. In his urgency, Samuel had forgotten to bring it that morning. Without wasting time, Daniel radioed the base, requesting immediate medical assistance. A rescue vehicle arrived quickly and rushed Samuel to the reserve's medical unit. On the way, Daniel kept calling his name, urging him to stay awake. Samuel's eyes fluttered briefly before slowly closing. His breathing became faint and uneven. At the medical unit, doctors immediately began emergency procedures. Artificial respiration was administered, and a defibrillator was used repeatedly. The room was silent except for the sound of machines and hurried footsteps. After nearly 20 minutes, the head doctor stepped back, lowering his head. Samuel's heart had stopped long before arrival. The news spread rapidly through the reserve. Rangers stood in disbelief, many with tears in their eyes. The Mara had lost not just a ranger, but a guardian, its moral compass. His family was informed, and according to Samuel's lifelong wish, he was to be buried within the land he had protected. The next morning, before the sun fully rose, a funeral ceremony was arranged in the open clearing near the central watchtower. A simple wooden platform held Samuel's body. His face was calm, as if resting after a long day's work. Rangers, local villagers, and reserve staff gathered silently to pay their respects. Daniel stood near the platform, gently touching Samuel's weathered hand, memories flooding back. Joseph lit a traditional incense stick and whispered a prayer. Suddenly, a low growl echoed from the edge of the clearing. The crowd froze. From between the bushes emerged a large male leopard, its coat marked with scars and age. It walked slowly, confidently, its golden eyes scanning the gathered people. Panic spread, and many stepped back in fear. Yet, the leopard showed no aggression. It approached the platform where Samuel lay. The leopard circled it once, then stopped near Samuel's feet. Slowly, it lowered its head, remaining perfectly still. The silence was overwhelming. Daniel noticed a distinctive scar on the leopard's shoulder. His heart skipped. He recognized it immediately. This was the same leopard Samuel had rescued years ago, the one caught in a metal trap, bleeding and close to death. Samuel had stayed with that animal through the night, removing the trap and treating the wound. The realization spread among the crowd. Fear turned into awe. Daniel cautiously stepped forward, raising his hand gently. The leopard did not move. It simply remained there, as if paying its respects. One by one, others gathered closer, sharing the sacred moment. After the ceremony, Samuel's body was carried to a grassy hill beneath a large acacia tree, his favorite resting spot during patrols. As the group moved, the leopard followed at a distance, letting out a low, mournful call that echoed across the plains. At the grave site, Samuel was gently laid to rest. A stone bearing his name and 52 years of service was placed at the head of the grave. Local elders offered prayers for his soul. The leopard stood nearby, watching silently. After a long moment, it lifted its head and released a powerful cry that carried across the savannah, a sound filled with loss and gratitude. Then, slowly, it turned and disappeared into the tall grass. As the sun set, painting the sky in deep shades of red and gold, the image of the leopard standing beside Samuel's grave became etched into the hearts of all who witnessed it. In the days that followed, the reserve paused its activities to honor Samuel's memory. People brought wildflowers, left offerings, and whispered prayers. Rangers often reported seeing a leopard near the grave at dawn or dusk, quietly watching over it. Samuel Kibet had dedicated his life to protecting nature, and in the end, nature remembered him. The legend of the leopard guardian would live forever in the Masai Mara, carried by the wind, the grass, and the silent watch of the wild.